Standard ELIDZ's vision is to be a meaningful contributor towards the South African government's objectives of furthering empowerment of previous disadvantaged individuals, sustainably developing local industry and improving skills to support localization and industrialization objectives. The Standard ELIDZ's vision is to transform its supplier database by engaging in targeted supply development initiatives to support localization and industrialization while providing meaningful opportunities to South Africans with particular emphasis on the youth, 30% black women-owned, but 1% black-owned businesses, as well as people with disabilities. We have, as you know, that we focus on construction and infrastructure development. We've got opportunities within construction, civil works and building, refurbishment of our buildings like painting, general repairs. We also have maintenance of our estate, like our general grass cutting, housekeeping, window cleaning, then our general goods and services that keeps the Standard ELIDZ operational. SMMEs lack capability and capacity, a lack of skills and experience, business management. Build your business. Treat your business as a brand. The registering on CSD on a database will not get you the business. You need to market your business because you're selling your services.
So thank you very much, and thank you for giving me your time. So our biggest question, and I'll tell you how we developed this company, is, you hear all the great things about, the government's going in the right way, about how it wants to support SMEs, because that is the largest growth engine or growth driver for not just jobs, but for the economy in our country, and that's not just in South Africa, that's been proven worldwide. We hear corporates saying that they want to support SMEs, we hear the banks saying that they want to support SMEs, but how many of you find it easy to raise funding? Okay, how many of you find it difficult to raise funding? Profit Share Partners is a disruptive funder to the SME sector. We're a funder that's able to decision within 24 hours. We're able to give you a term sheet within 48 hours, an application to pay out for new clients in 7 days. Okay. And you'd ask me, what do I need? What do you need is, you need a contract or a purchase order with a large corporate, a government institution, a large multinational, state-owned enterprise, and the like. We've then you've got to convince us that the underlying contract that you have in your position that you're able to deliver on. So we do a lot of stuff, a lot of finance in the supply chain, and then that you have enough margin in your transaction, so it's not priced so thinly that it's difficult to make a decent profit on. If you have that, I guess your traditional funders will say, well, show me your balance sheet, show me your financials, give me security, give me track record, and all of that. We don't look at any of that. We don't want your balance sheet, we don't want your financials. If your credit record isn't the best, it doesn't matter to us. We're just interested in the underlying transaction that you have. So in the last year alone, we've grown about 40 clients. We've taken them from 300,000 Rand turnovers to 3 million in less than 12 months. And our biggest brag story, we've taken a client from 1 million Rand to 35 million Rand in less than 2.5 years. Our technology and our systems get involved in all of that to make sure that you're delivering the right thing. And the reason why we need to make sure you're delivering the right thing is if you don't get paid for it, we don't get paid for it. So we've got to make sure your success and our success is intertwined. So hence, we've got to make sure that you're delivering properly. So what happens after 5 or 6 times? Our clients don't really need us. Right? We've got a counterintuitive business model that we're going to build up these clients to lose them. I mean, a lot of businesses will be, how do we attract a client and how do we keep them? Ours is how do we attract a client and how do we build them and how do we lose them?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm going to talk a little bit about SANRAL's transformation strategy, but I'm going to focus specifically on how it impacts on SMMEs. So for in 2017, for the first half of the year, SANRAL worked very hard at developing its Horizon 2030, and subsequent to that, we developed a draft transformation strategy. In November up to December, we had a number of roadshows across the country. Earlier this year, we revised it based on the information that we received back, and about a month ago, it was approved by our board. One of the important things that drive the transformation strategy is the legislative framework. Now, in the past, SANRAL was very limited in terms of creating opportunities for SMMEs or for designated groups, because we were not allowed to ring-fence funds for that purpose. However, with the preferential procurement regulations that came into effect on 1st of April 2017, it really became a vehicle for us to expand our transformation strategy and policies. The next type of project that we do that is 100% for local businesses and labour is our community development projects. So these projects are identified for specific communities, and we have different types and categories. We first of all have stand-alone community development projects. So that is typically when we realize there's, let's say for example, an accessibility issue in a certain area, but we're not going to have a national road project there soon, so we create a stand-alone project. But in all our conventional projects, we have a community development project as well. It's a component of our conventional projects. So that is the two categories, and then we have different models. We've got a labour-based model, we've got an SMME-based model, and an outcomes-based model.
So, my name is Busiso Ngobeni. I'm from an entity called Supported Employment Enterprises. Supported Employment Enterprises, it's a government entity. We're the biggest employer of people with disability in the country. Having established in 1943, after the Second World War, the back then government realized that we have sent soldiers to the war, they came back with a disability, one way or the other. So they recycled them within government to work with their skills. Thank God we don't have wars again. Now we've got a big challenge. We've got special schools. The question is, since we're that disadvantage in that regard, where do they go to for work? It becomes a big challenge. So us, as an entity, we recruit those learners in the factories. We've got 12 factories across the country. In Eastern Cape, we've got 2. Our East London factories, here just by Electron Street, number 1, Electron Street. As you go to town, you'll see on the left. What are the opportunities that are available for SMMEs? On a day-to-day basis, when you run such a company, you will need consumables. You need suppliers of those things that I mentioned. The best thing, the first of all, is to make sure that your central database is properly aligned. The second thing is, one of the speakers has spoken, to visit the factory and understand exactly on a literal level, unlike in a presentation, what kind of products do you need? Where can I fit? So the most important thing is I gave you the address to visit. When you buy from us, you're creating employment for someone. As much as we are an entity, we have got target to say we need to achieve this for the maintenance of the factory. So the Department of Labor does give us that fund, but we need to generate sales. And for us to generate sales is when we get people who buy from us. So instead of buying a chair which is expensive somewhere else, far, come and consult from us. We get it at the government rate, and our prices are regulated by the treasurer. So I request to say, let's support people with disability in the country.
Hello. My name is Ntando Monambi, as I've been introduced. I'll be speaking about workmen's compensation today. As many of you would know that workmen's compensation is a necessity for every company that is trading. So each and every company trading should have workmen's compensation. So I come from a company called the Federated Mutual Assurance Company, and we only cater for the building and construction industry when it comes to workmen's compensation. But firstly, let's just discuss what is workmen's compensation. Basically, workmen's compensation is commonly referred to as the COID cover. It's compulsory assurance that is taken out by a company to cover the employees in the unlikely event that the employees get injured or contract illness while performing their daily work duties. So workmen's compensation is prescribed by the Compensation Fund for Occupational Diseases. Not all injuries do qualify to be considered as a IOD. For example, Section 1 of the COID Act defines an accident as an accident arising out of and in the course of an employee's employment and resulting in personal injury, illness, or death of the employee. So, accidents that wouldn't qualify as an IOD, or for example, an individual who is employed as a painter and is injured while driving a forklift, that will not qualify for workmen's compensation. So, who is FEM? FEM was established in 1936 under the license from the Minister of Labour. The cost around joining FEM to be one of our policyholders is as minimal as 2,500 Rand. So we use the same rates as the Department of Labour. So we're only private company to offer workmen's compensation in the construction industry. Roughly, I'd say we've got 5,000 policies currently with FEM, and you're looking at majority of it being CIDB 9. So all the major contractors within the building industry are with FEM because of the exceptional service we actually offer them.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mihlali Molweni. I'm from the Small Enterprise Finance Agency. That's what SIFA stands for. It is an agency of government that is mandated with helping SMEs with finance, development finance institutions, which SIFA is one of. I would say that it is quite a challenge. I know SMEs believe that they have a problem accessing finance, which could be looked at from different angles. There's a lot of money around. I think that we can agree on. If you look at the kinds of institutions that are out there, if we look at the DFIs only, we know government has got various institutions that are in place. It's not just SIFA. There's various institutions that you go to where you will go and find money. But the issue is, how do we access it? And the access issue, if you think about it, is really about what are the requirements? What do I need to do as an SME to be able to qualify for the finance? That's something that we should rather be looking at. What is it that's not working? When you're looking at institutions like SIFA, it's not necessarily to come and compete with banks. It's not to come and to compete as DFIs. This is not a competition. All these institutions are there for all of us as SMEs, and it is open for any SME to approach any of the DFIs. You've gone to the bank, it's not working out, so what's next? Previously there wasn't a next, but now there's government that is able to assist you.
Okay, good afternoon. Can you hear me?
No.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. The clothing bank drew me out of retirement, drew me out of having my own business, because it is the most amazingly efficient organization. that takes previously disadvantaged women, unfortunately not gentlemen yet, we will get there. We select our ladies very carefully, and I do recognize 2 ladies here that didn't get through the program in the selection process. And often we don't take ladies when we think they've got what it takes to carry on out the clothing bank. How the clothing bank works is that we are fortunate enough to get donations from all the major retailers, Woolworths, Truworths, Mr. Price, Pick n Pay, and our ladies then buy those clothes and sell them. They get an initial loan of 600, which they then repay, 600 rand. So there's no upfront payment or anything else to get in. The criteria for a woman is she must be unemployed, she must have at least 1 child under 18. The reason for that is that we wanted to reach more than 1 generation. If you reach the mom and your children are all already out of the house, the chances of her being able to impact those children are reduced. Not always, but often. And they need to be South African, they need to be previously disadvantaged, and they need to be fairly highly motivated. Otherwise, they're not going to make the program. It's a 2-year program, so it's tough. But it's a deep program. It's not a shallow program where it's just one little training course and off you go. You get life skills, they get financial skills, they get business skills, they get mentored and coached all the way through their business. If they're battling, we call them in and say, come, let's talk, what's happening? And we have what we call ambassadors, or women who have come through the program already, and they can get alongside our ladies that are battling.
All right, good afternoon. My name is Tevi Osi. I'm from DK Consulting. I help people set themselves apart in 10 simple ways. How do I do that? I've written a book. It's titled Thou Shalt Build Thy Personal Brand. And this afternoon, I'm going to speak to you about advertising and marketing. But I want to speak to you on the topic branding, which is a new advertising and marketing strategy. Are you ready for that? Yeah. All right. Raymond Aron says that in his book, Branding Small Business for Dummies, he says, in the old days, salespeople were a big part of the selling process. They recommended products because they knew about the products. But things have changed now because consumers are the ones who know about the product. They research about the product, they read reviews about the product, and they buy products. We buy products based on how they make us feel and the connection we have about that brand. We don't just depend on somebody else telling us about the brand, but we make our own decision based on the experience we have about that brand. So in other words, branding is the experience that you give your consumers or your prospects or the people who buy from you. And that is very important as a business person, as an entrepreneur, that you understand that when you put your business out there and when you are looking for customers and clients, it's the experience that you give them that matters. It's the experience that you give them that will determine if they will come back for your product or for your service. So in simple terms, the experience you give your clients, that's your brand, that's branding. Do you understand what I'm saying? So the way of commerce used to be, nothing happens until something is sold. But all of that has changed now. Nothing happens until something is branded. Oh, glory. A brand is what people say about you when you are not in the room. So a brand is not just what you say about yourself. A brand is not what you say, I can do this, I can do this. But it's about, it's what people say about you when you are not in the room. Because they are the ones who have the experience, who got that experience. That's why people will recommend a certain brand over the other, because of the experience they got from that brand. Can I preach this afternoon? Yes.
So I come from a company called Development Hub, software product development. also known as SaaS or Software as a Service, right? And I'm here today to speak about the agenda. So, my name is Nyanvade Odro, all the way from Tata, but I'm based in PE and Johannesburg, pushing software. I regard myself as a high-performance individual, hence be so good they can't ignore you. I also work as a solution architect at Development Hub that I so happen to found, and I'm head of product of SalesHack.io, which is a business-to-business, off-the-shelf, cloud-based automation sales tool. Okay. It's a tool for SMMEs to close more deals. Then I so happen to hold a BTech in software development in the former Nelson Mandela Metropolitan University. I've got a certain number of elements that I would like to go through. If someone sitting in the room would like to own their own software product, is there such a person in the room?
Yes.
Okay, let's go through. Take a book and take notes. So the first thing that you need to do is focus on solving a problem. How can I put it, closer to the bullseye, your problems. Because personally, I was just running Development Hub and I was like, and being part of what you call an innovation hub, there will always be a question being posed every 3 to 6 months, how's your pipeline? And I just developed a software for that. So you need to be lazy for you to own the software product, alleviate that pain. Secondly, you also need to understand that the guy that's hanging curtains doesn't care about the drill bit, but more than the hole to put in that. So when you're coming up with your problem or coming up with your solution, focus more on what problem are you innovating or what opportunity are you creating. Moving forward, why are you solving that problem, right? And that then becomes the driving force of your whole application. And lastly, is it worth solving? Because remember, untapped market doesn't mean guaranteed market, right? The reason why it's not there, no one needs it. So leave it like that.
Ngifuna ukuthi uqala ndibulela umdala wezinsuku ngiyalithuba ndike lona lokuthi ndibe yipart and parcel yalo msebenzi omkhulu kangaka. Igama lami ndinguSizwe Yolo, ndiphuma eDangeni Village. Kulapho ndikhulele khona. Ekukhuleni kwami ndikhule ngumntana obe involved so much into drugs. Ndikhula nabakhulu abami aba-involved with crime and drugs. Nami ndakhulela ke kulo environment enjalo kwikhaya elingena stability. Kodwa uThixo kuyo yonke lonto leyo bendingayazi into okujongile, kanti ujongile yena. uThixo wenza indlela yoba manikhule noba ndikhula kanjani with a single parent, tata engasekho ecaleni kwami. Ndakhula ke ngendlela esibizana ngayo ke singabantwana baselokishini sibizana into yoba sizisigumbane. Stand next to a shop, sorry madam, asking money to buy some bread. Ndakhula ndingilo sizwe unjalo ndade ndagaxeleka engozini yokudutyulwa because of ukuba involved nabantu abakwi-crime. Ezibana ndikhula ke njengoba ndisitsho uThixo waya endibonisa more ukuthi Sizwe, I have something greater for you, not just only for wena but for the whole world. Sizwe,
I am a strong woman. I am a phenomenal woman. I am a building blocks of God's circumstances, which shapes up the woman I am today. I declare that I can carry all burdens in life quietly and survive with a smile. Ndiyindoni yamanzi eqhakazayo phezu kwesibhakabhaka somhlaba. Ndiyinkanyezi ekhangisayo ebusuku. Molweni. Igama lami ndinguSisipho Nongqayi. Ndingumabhayi ukhetha umsipho umvundla umvulane kenyekandisa. Ubhuti lusika apha usike wami Wangivuselela. Ungumkhaya wami, ndisuka eScenery Park, but ndikhulele eMoy Plus emzwini. Ndasuka eMoy Plus emzwini ndiyohlala eDankeni, ndasuka eDankeni ndiyohlala eScenery Park. Ndi-founder ye-Futures of Tomorrow. I-Futures of Tomorrow yenza i-drama, poetry, dance, i-assiste ku-homeworks, modeling, and do netball. I-Futures of Tomorrow is started from the age of 6 years to the age of 18 years. Injongo ye-Futures of Tomorrow is to fight teenage pregnancy, HIV, violence against women and children, substance abuse. Ndi-mentor yasebombi ngomso. Ndi-encourage through i-camps zasebombi ngomso. Andivelanga ndayi-mentor ke phebombi ngomso bendilanduka member yasebombi ngomso. Nda-attenda i-workshops last year from April. Then kwakho camp yayikhona ngoJune. Nda-encouraged phayana into yobana ndikwazi ustarta eyam ilanduka i-club le i-project le ndiyenzayo ye-Futures of Tomorrow.
I don't know if I'm going to be incriminating anyone. For us to even start talking, 10 rands, everyone, now. Then we can continue wasting people's time. Now.